A show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on GTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon, Nail Spa and Barbershop, Tisley Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, and Digicel, simply more speed, reliability and entertainment.
Tisley Cross Cider. Tisley Cross Cider. Deliciously smooth.
This is The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition. Well, it's in the season, the festive season, the festival season, the season when we look at where we've come and celebrate it in so many different ways. One aspect of that is August month, where we look at our heritage and our culture in a deep and different way. And on that note, I want to welcome again to the set Reverend Melvin Turnbull, Dr. Melvin Turnbull, the head of the, you're head of the
chairman of Virgin Islands Heritage Month Committee.
Heritage Month Committee.
Yes.
That one was slipping me.
Yes.
Yes, and this year we're having it. We have not been able to celebrate or recognize our heritage celebrations as we are accustomed to every August, but it's happening this year.
It's happening this year, and like I tell the folks all the time, there may be a time when you can't have festival, but there should never be a time when you don't celebrate your emancipation. So, and we need people to understand that that's what we do indeed celebrate, or emancipation. So, Kathy, thank you for having me one more time.
And in celebrating our emancipation, talk to us the focus of the Heritage Committee.
Yes. Well, the Heritage Committee, well, let's get a little background, not too much. King Governor Baptist Church, we have been among the first to celebrate our heritage as a people. So way back. And then in 1997, we decided to take it to the national level. And then in 2004, after making representations, we were able to get the month of August to be declared officially as Heritage Month. And so in the BVI, the month of August is Heritage Month. Now, the Heritage Committee is responsible for all the spiritual aspects of the celebration. And doesn't mean that we're isolated, but we know what we are about. And over the years, what we have done and continue to do is collaborate with the Festival Affairs Committee, with the BVI government, and together we try to make it as best as we can. So we are responsible for a lot of different things. Like one, we would do the Emancipation Service, which will be preceded by Freedom March, and then that's the Sunday. So Sunday at 3 o'clock, we have our Freedom March from opposite Government House to the Sunday Morning Well, and there's something symbolic from the Massa to the Master. Yeah, and then onto the Sunday Morning Well, and there's always this discussion every year. Is that where it really happened? It really doesn't matter, really. That's the place that has been selected, that we have our service which begins at 4. And in that service, we are seeking to highlight our heritage, our culture. So there is singing, there's dancing, and of course there's the word, because we understand that the heart of the celebration is spiritual. Because when the slaves were declared free, one of the first things they did was went into the church and prayed and sang. And by the way, for those who don't know, the celebrations as we know it actually started with the church. It was the church, the Methodist and Anglican churches, from whenever up to 1954, that alternated the leadership of the celebrations. It was called Fete on the Field, which really was a cultural thing and a happy time and so forth. Then you had other, I often refer to it, the church dropped the ball kind of, and then other organizations took it up. We had the JCs and other people, and to what we have today. So over the years, it has shifted away from its original intention. And so people like myself and others are trying to keep us, keep you in the nucleus, the center.
Okay.
Don't drift too far.
Bring it back to focus.
Yes, it is an emancipation. And when you behave in a certain way, it shows that you're not emancipated. So, because emancipation calls for responsible. So we got to be responsible in our behavior and so forth. So we have on the August Sunday, we have Freedom March, we have the Emancipation Service. Then the following day, and this year it happens to fall on Emancipation Day, we have a sunrise service. Of course, all that is preceded by Gospel Fest. And Gospel Fest this year is going to be on Wednesday, the 27th of July in the festival ground. So we're looking forward to a great time.
I try to understand, because before now, what you just explained is the history of our heritage celebration and for the freedom. It's more attributed to the Easter season and not the August season.
Well, yeah. Well, I know what you're saying, but people have been discussing that and so forth. The Easter season, there is a festival. As you might know by now, there are several festivals, but we need to focus more on the main thing and keep it the main thing. Okay. Sometimes we get fragmented and get lost in the process. So, again, I want to declare, which is official since 2004, that the month of August is really your Heritage Month. Now, we can have a lot of other things, and we can call them a lot of different things, but we must never forget Emancipation Month, Heritage Month, is August.
So
and it should not be, I must add, it shouldn't be a 1 month thing or 1 year thing.
Forever.
We should always be talking about our heritage.
Yes.
Yes.
So Heritage Month celebrations and activities go beyond the August 4?
Yes. Yes, we have a whole month to celebrate, and what we've been trying to encourage people everywhere, anywhere, to make sure you, first of all, educate yourselves, educate your children, because we got to pass this on. That's how we are where we are, because somebody told us. And the greatest way to have communicated our culture, as you know the practice, is by word of mouth. Mm-hmm. And Scripture speaks to the people of Israel. He says, talk about it when you lay down, when you wake up, when you walk about. So it's something we have to keep on talking about. And it should be introduced in our primary schools, even preschools, so that they understand where we came from, who we are. We are a distinct people who are part of a diaspora. I want to emphasize that point, because we keep separating and fragmenting ourselves. Them people, so it's always us against them. It should not be, it must not be. We are one people, just in different parts of the diaspora. And just like we went other places for employment and what have you in the 50s and 60s, in the 70s, there was a big influx of especially our Caribbean brothers and sisters. We must never forget, those of us who have been born here, that our fathers went there. Now it's their time to come here, but we are one people. We need to understand that and stop getting into and falling for the mentality, and stop falling for the strategy, divide and conquer. Listen, you could be a house slave and you could be a field slave, but when the master is about to come down, don't you think because you are in a house you will be exempted. The same thing that Mordecai said to Esther. You think because you're queen you're going to be exempted. You're fooling yourself. So I want to say to a people, wherever you're from, as a brother or sister, do not allow others to set a wedge between us. We have differences. Fine. Family, even from the same bloodline, have differences. But at the end of the day, we are one people. Let's keep that in mind. And more than ever before, Kathy, if ever people needed to get stuff together, get stuff together and stay together. It's now. It's now. Yeah.
We see what's happening around us. We're feeling the pressures of the wider world upon us, and unless we, especially as a Caribbean region, stay together, it's gonna affect us.
Force.
Yeah,
and the rest of the world knows it. That's why they sow so many seeds of discord, because they know if we ever understood who we are and come together, ain't nobody can touch us. They know that.
I want you to quickly do this comparison for me. Emancipation, which is the celebration of being free as a people. Your heritage is where you come from, what brought you here.
Yes.
And spiritual, because you said the heritage committee focuses on the spiritual side of things. How do we marry those three?
Well, they're not isolated. As I often say, a person is one person. He just has different segments. And it wouldn't be a matter of time before one segment infects the other. So you can say, well, I'm a body and I'm a spirit, I'm a soul. You're all that, but you're one body. It just means that you have different parts. So that's all it means. We have different emphases, different parts, but we are one. So the essence of the celebration is actually spiritual, because the declaration was made that you are free. The response was, let's go and give God thanks.
Okay.
Let's worship. Let's fellowship. That's spiritual stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's something connecting us. And that's what it's all about. And people understand. I often say, people, listen, we are not a body with a spirit. We are spirit with a body. And there's a world of difference.
The cup is half empty or it's half full?
No, because that which is not seen, everything that you see came from something that's not seen. And what's greater is not the seen, but the unseen.
All right.
I don't want to get preaching now.
We get good on that. But just as we recap this, like I said again, it's always good information to have these conversations that we do often here on these type of platforms very often. Remind us of the dates, where we should be when for the Heritage Celebration.
Yes. First of all, the celebration for us begins as a people on Wednesday, the 27th of July. It's going to be the opening of the village. And right after that, right into that, we have Gospel Fest 2022. Now, we're going to be having Shervin Gardner, a great singer, great gifted man of God, and local artists as well. And then on the 31st of July, which is a Sunday, we're going to have our Freedom March at 3, and then our Emancipation service at 4. The following day, August 1st, we're going to be having our sunrise service. Okay, the sunrise service begins at 7 a.m. It's going to be in the Queen Elizabeth Park 2. We start at 7. And again, it's going to be a great time. We have a guest speaker, and we're looking forward to him sharing the Word of God with us and blessing us. He also have a great context of history. And so we're looking through all that. We're going to be having drama. We're going to have poetry. We're going to be having, of course, singing. And it's just going to be a great time. I want to really encourage the Christian community and everybody, because it's not a Christian celebration. It's not them celebration. It's everybody's celebration. So as long as you reside in the Virgin Islands, whether you're visiting or you're just passing through or you live here, whatever it is, let's all celebrate. Let's come together. And just enjoy. Because listen, Kathy, we have been through a lot, We have been through a lot. And here's the thing, something that jumped into my spirit when you were talking about all the stuff that you were saying that's going on. That's how our people survived. They had a strong spiritual foundation. So our resilience is not intellectual. People can't understand why we would survive 2 Category 5 hurricanes. You come with all these body bags and everything, thinking we're gone. We should have been gone. We could have been gone, but for the grace of God. And that's what people need to understand. That is the heart of who we are. I know, they're hypocrites. I know all that, but hey, forget all that. If you have a polluted stream, just go back to the fountain. That's all you got to do.
Awesome. So let's stick to the fountain and
Yes.
let's celebrate our heritage.
Yes.
Come this August. Remember the activities. Look, I know the flyers are going to be out and they're
Yes.
out there already. So let's join in the celebration.
Yes.
Pastor, I want to thank you again for being on set with me. And I want to thank you for taking time out to join us here on The Big Story.